Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, it's the OG, it's the original gamer Stevie Stroh. How are you? Couple days away from Cocoa Fest. I just got done uploading chapter 20, which covers the paint command. And I thought it'd be cool to add the paint command to our graphics demo. So here we're looking at our graphics demo, and this is graphics demo 1.1, where I added just the circle command that we learned in chapter 19. I thought it'd be cool to add two different types of circles, a normal round circle and a random elliptical circle. And then I thought it'd also be cool to add those circles with the option to be solid filled circles so we can try to paint them in. And then I also thought that we would also add a random factor here that would occasionally just clear the screen, because the screen after a while, as you can see, gets a little messy. So it might be nice to take the old Etch-a-Sketch, shake it up, and do a new drawing. So this is what the current 1.1 demo looks like, as you can see here. Now before I go any further, I need to test my logic on how I think this ellipse formula is going to work. So I'm just going to clear that thing out right now. I need to go back and look at chapter 19, going in circles here, and I need to see how the circle command works, and I want to try to basically see if I can figure out a formula that will make a random ellipse of a circle. So the format is x comma y, h comma v, radius, color, height width ratio, start and end. Height width ratio is a ratio. HW is a height to width ratio, 0 to 255. If you omit this, the computer uses 1. Now it says it's 0 to 255. I'm just wondering, when we get into the height width ratio, if it putting on the squeeze, that is the ellipse P mode. This is doing the circle commands with the radius. Yeah, so I need to try to figure this out, because I kind of sort of understand it, but I kind of sort of also don't. So let's just do this right now. So we're going to say 10 P mode 3 comma 1 PCLS screen 1 comma 0. So 20 radius equals random 99, and then let's just do this, 21 HW equals random 256 minus 1. That should give us our height to width radius. If I do 22 circle 128 comma 96 comma 8 comma 4 comma radius. What the hell is the format for the circle again? It's radius comma color comma height to width. I forgot. Okay, so it's radius comma color, radius comma 4 comma HW. The 30 will go to 10. Let's see what this looks like. We're getting random ones. They're mostly tall. I'm not seeing anything wide. So your height to width ratio is it says is between 0 and 255, but to me it seems like the taller the number, the higher the number, the taller the circle gets. Let's do a line 25 for P for pause equals 1 to 100. Next P, this will pause it. Yeah, it's looking like, okay, that was a wide circle. So it's seeming like, yeah, I could get a tall circle, but I'm thinking I want to try a different logic here, because I'm thinking that I remember doing like a 0.25 to get wider stuff. So I remember doing like these fractional things here. So instead of saying that it equals 256 times 1, 21, I would say height width equals 0.1 times random 200. Let's see how this works out, because I'm hoping to see more wide circles than tall circles. There we go. There was a wide circle. There are some wide circles. And yeah, so that's kind of cool. This is giving us random circles of a random width. Still seeming like lots of them are taller. I would like to see some wider circles as well. So if I edit line 21, this is going to give me, this should give me a lot more wider circles. Okay, it's giving me some variety. I'm still seeing things that are taller than they are wider, but we are seeing some wide ones, so I guess I'm kind of okay with that. So what is my, there was a nice little wide one, and maybe the radius should be smaller too. So let's make the radius a random, let's make that a random of 60, so they won't be quite as big. So when they're tall, they hopefully will be less likely to go off the screen, although that doesn't seem to be the case here. So we are still getting more taller than wider. I would prefer wider circles more often. To me, I think they're more interesting looking than the tall circles. So maybe I want to change that even more. Instead of multiplying that by 100, let's just change that to a 5. Let's delete one of these. And so now they're still getting some tall ones, but now we're getting more interesting shape ones. So yeah, I kind of like the wide ellipses here. So yeah, that's just a different that's just a different way of doing it. So it's looking like I'm taking a 0.1 and multiplying that by 50. That's giving me a good result that I think I like. So let's go back and let's look at that one more time. Okay, yeah, I am getting some wider ones. It seems like it still favors the taller circles rather than the wider circles. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers, and I'm not going to give myself a headache trying to figure out the perfect formula here. It's random, and there are enough less tall circles for me to be happy with it at this time. So that formula I'm looking for right now is this. It is height to width ratio is going to be 0.1 times random 50. So that's how we're going to make our random ellipses. So let's go ahead, and I believe this was called GDemo11. Load GDemo11. All right. Now I need to list through 100. And the first thing I need to do is I need to change this to 1.2. So I'm going to edit line 20. And now this is graphics demo version 1. Change that to a 2. Okay. Now, what is my game logic? My game, no, not game logic, but what is my demo logic? My demo logic now is go subbing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. So let's list all the way through 7,000. 7,000 was the last one I did, and 7,000 says draw a circle. Okay, I need to now also have the computer pick a random height width ratio for me. So let's do that. Let's go to, I believe it's 100 through 199. Okay, here's all my different numbers that I'm picking right now. So I'm picking a screen mode and a screen color. I'm picking foreground color, background color. I think I also want to do this little logical statement in here. I'm going to do line 21. If FC equals BC, meaning they're both the same, then 120. So we don't have the same two colors. Okay, so we'll keep picking those. Now, what else do I want to do? I want to also now add into here a height width ratio. Height to width ratio. So we'll make that 131. I'm going to say HW equals 0.1 times random 50. List 100 through 199. Okay. I also want to, I want the screen to randomly clear. And what do I want to do this? Because I don't want it to happen too often. I want it to happen occasionally. So I want to put in some type of thing here that's going to say, you know, once in a blue moon, clear the screen. And I'm just trying to think of how we want to do that. How about I do something like line 136? If x1 equals x2, then PCLS. Since we are picking two random x coordinates, there is going to be a chance that some point in time that those two will be exactly the same. When that time happens, we're going to clear the screen. So it won't happen all the time. It will happen probably mostly infrequently, but I do want it to happen upon occasion. Now, I could create more routines. Like for right now, I've got a routine that just draws a circle. I could create a second routine that then draws a circle and paints it and make that a new go sub. Or I could put in a line here that like flips a coin, and if it's heads, we'll paint. If it's tails, we won't. So there's a couple different ways I could do that. And so what I'll do for right now is on the normal circle, I won't do that. So I'm going to create a new routine called 8000. It's going to say rem draw painted circle. Okay. Then we have 8010. We're going to say circle x1 comma y1 comma the radius is going to be the random number. I don't like that. I think I want to actually change that now. I'm thinking that my radius, because the y2 could be a number between 1 and 191, and sometimes that could be kind of big. So let's list through our game logic here. I keep saying game logic, but let's list through our demo logic. And let's introduce an actual random radius. And we'll put that in 131. So we're going to edit 131. And I'm going to just insert a variable. I'm going to call it RA for radius equals random 60. So it's never going to be too big. All right, now we're going to list out our whole program. Now in line 7010, instead of saying Y2, I'm going to say RA. Okay. I picked Y2 because it was a variable that was already decided for me, and it was a good enough. Okay. So now back to 8010. 8010 is going to circle x1 comma y1 comma RA comma foreground color. Okay, it's going to do that. Now line 8020 is going to paint x1 comma y1 comma foreground color comma foreground color. Now this is going to 8030 is going to return. This is the routine that's going to draw a circle and it's going to paint a circle. The problem with this is that it's going to try to paint a circle at the exact center point of where the circle is drawn. We have no idea what's going to be behind the circle because it's open. So there could be other squares and lines and stuff in there. So when we go to paint, there's always a chance that this paint is going to bleed over and wipe out the screen anyways. And that might take care of our PCLS issue as well. And if that happens, we'll do that. So let's go ahead and list our code right now. List 100 through 199, and then now I want to change edit 130. I want my graphics decision to be 8, and then I want to edit 140, and I want to go sub now up to 8 things: 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. So right now, what I've just added to the demo is an error. What did I do in edit 121? If FC equals BC, then 120. All right. So here's my demo. Here's the first circle. The first thing that happened was a painted circle. That is okay. So we're getting some filled lines. We're getting some painted circles. Yeah. Also, when we go to the black and white mode, because there's less colors to choose from, this might become a problem too, because the black and white mode is not going to detect the right color. So far the painted circles are working out pretty good, but I think over time, as the screen gets messier and busier, it may run into a potential bleed out. So far that hasn't happened. So far I'm actually liking the fact that we got painted circles coming into our demo right now. This is looking like very, very 8-bit art right now. Very computer art. Yeah, okay, so I like that. I like that a lot. So now we're just going to do, now we're going to add a random ellipse and a random painted ellipse. And I'm just going to go ahead and continue to do each one as a separate routine. So we're going to do 9,000. Rem. Draw ellipse. Ellipsed circle. And that's supposed to be rem, not re. Rem. Draw ellipsed circle. All right. So 90, 10 is going to say circle x1, comma y1, comma radius, comma foreground color, comma height to width, which is that random number. Line 90, 20 is going to return. Now we'll do a 10,000. 10, 1, 2, 3. Rem, draw painted ellipse. Ellipses. Okay, 10, 0, 0, 10. We're going to say circle x1, comma y1, comma radius, comma foreground color, comma height width. 10, 20. We're going to say paint x1, comma y1, comma foreground color, comma foreground color. We're going to return. Okay, now when we list 199 through 200. So I need to list 100 through 199. So I need to now change line 130. I need to random 10. And then I need to edit 140. I need to extend that. So I'm going to say 9,000, comma 10,000. Let me make sure I have enough 10, 1, 2, 3. I have enough zeros there. All right. What should we get now? We should get syntax error and okay. Paint. That comma is not supposed to be there. Okay. All right. So what are we going to get? We're going to get normal circles. We're going to occasionally get painted circles. We're going to get ellipses, which could be tall or wide. And then we'll occasionally get a painted, here's a painted ellipse here. Now that's kind of cool. It painted it in. Okay, I'm really liking this. Now, what will also happen is I like how a piece of the circle gets painted too. That is kind of cool because there's so much crap behind it. It starts painting in the middle. If it runs into a barrier or a border that matches the color it's looking for as its stop color, it just stops. So this is cool. This graphics demo is really shaping up to show off a lot of the different commands that we are learning in the programming in BASIC. We're really demonstrating a lot of the different graphics at this point. And I'm hoping that once in a while it will clear the screen. And there is always a chance that that will happen, and that's going to happen, I think, when x1 and x2 are the same number. And so since both of those are randomly picking a number between 0 and 255, it's not going to happen very often that they're exactly the same. What would more likely happen is that, and I would like to see it happen actually as I'm thinking out loud here. I think I would like to see this happen more often, so I want to list 100 through 199. If x1 equals x2, then PCLS. We're going to get rid of that. Now the other line was this: if foreground equals background color, then 120. I'm going to edit 121. So if these numbers are the same, then PCLS, go to 120 and pick a new one. So at this point now, I'm picking two numbers between 0 and 9. There is a greater likelihood that those two numbers will be the same more frequently. And so when that happens, when the foreground and background color are the same, number one, I'm going to have it go back and pick new ones. And when it does, it is also going to clear the screen. So Right there, it just cleared the screen. Okay, so every now and then the screen is going to clear, and maybe too often it's going to clear. Yeah, maybe too often now, but this is at least proving the logic. So I've got to stick it somewhere else where it happens less frequently. Now it's PCLSing a little too often, and I do want to have the stuff show up on the screen. Oops. So let's edit 121, and then let's just get rid of 1PCLS colon. Okay, so this 100 through 199. I need to insert a line here somewhere that is going to clear the screen, but not too often. Screen mode, screen color, color, foreground, color, background. I think before it was like line 131 or 136 or something that basically said if these two things match, then clear the screen. How about we just say line 136, if y1 equals y2, then PCLS. It's not going to happen too often, but these are smaller numbers, so the likelihood of them being the same is maybe more probable. So we're not going to get a PCLS too often. I could also then just say, I could say, you know, PCLS equals random 100. If PCLS equals 50, then PCLS or something like that. I could just generate a new random number to clear the screen, and if that number equals something specifically, then clear the screen. I could add another decision factor in here, but I'm trying to just work off of random numbers that have already been generated. Right now, though, I think this looks pretty cool. I think the fact that we are drawing random types of graphical statements in random colors on random graphics modes, and sometimes the circles paint in the screen, that is serving to kind of cleanse the palette and cleanse the canvas every now and then, I think. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. I do love how the circles don't all get completely filled into. I love how there's like missing chunks of the circle. That to me is very artsy fartsy looking. You know, this is going to look a heck of a lot better when we can do this in Color Computer 3 modes, where we can do up to 16 colors on the screen, and we can start to mess with palettes and things like that. That is definitely going to be cool. But here we go, graphics demo 1.2 to include circles, painted circles, ellipses, and painted ellipses. So there's now 10 different things going on in the routine, and there's an occasional wild card as well where the screen might completely blink out and start over if two random numbers become exactly the same thing. So you might get that wild card screen clear once in a blue moon. But yeah, I could literally just stare at this thing probably like all day, forever. Let's go back and make it big for just a moment so we can appreciate how big and how pretty and how shiny these graphics are. I just love these graphics. So this demo now is really coming together. We got boxes, squares, lines, circles, painted circles, stretched circles, painted stretched circles. We got more graphics than we know what to do with, and we're not even done learning. So there we go, we just got the screen cleared too. So that once in the blue moon of clearing the screen just happened. So that's kind of cool. So you don't have to end up staring at the same dirty picture all the time. The picture will get cleaned up and reset once in a while. Very, 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 very cool. I like it. I hope you like it too. Can't wait to see what everybody thinks about this video. Leave your comments below. Let me know if you've been working on something similar to this on your own. And, you know, and if you have some stuff you've been working on, I'd love to have you guys send me your projects that you're working on too. Save your disk image and just email it to me. And I'll like to pull it up and look at it and show off some of the stuff other people are working on. Cool stuff. Graphics demo 1.2. We got more to add, but we're going to leave it here for now. Peace out, everybody.